Well, it is a strong term, but police in Hong Kong have described the death of a 70-year-old man struck during clashes on Wednesday as murder. He was said to have been hit by a hard object when he was caught up in violence between government supporters and anti-government protesters. Well, in a news conference a couple of hours ago now, police also showed footage here, you can see it, of what they called rioting in the streets. The police spokesman, Cheng, then went on to accuse protesters of taking the city hostage.
Please take a look at what Hong Kong has become today. We are now constantly living in fear of being the next victim of widespread rioting. Riotous violence has infiltrated into almost every corner of society and now turned the Chinese University of Hong Kong into a powder keg. Destroying Hong Kong has nothing to do with any political demands. We should never bow to riotous intimidation. We should not let rioters take hostage of Hong Kong.
Well, the troubles, the difficulties have spilled over to a certain extent here in London as well, as police are investigating an allegation of assault near the Chinese embassy. We've got some pictures for you of the incident. I should just tell you there are flashing images in this, but just to show you, you can see the Hong Kong Justice Secretary surrounded by pro-democracy protesters, also by photographers. And then she falls to the ground. Well, the Hong Kong government has condemned the actions by what it called a violent mob on Teresa Cheng. She was here on an official visit. And in just the last hour, the Chinese government has also called it an appalling attack and warned Britain that there would be consequences. Well, not everything is violent, of course. Protests are taking place in large parts of Hong Kong, in fact, focused on a campaign of mass disruption. So evening coming into Hong Kong, this is the scene from just a short while ago. Students gathering on the streets, office workers also leaving their desks, as they've started to do on a daily basis, to demonstrate. Robin Brandt has been to the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and that was the focus of protests earlier in the week.
Well, 3 days ago, we stood in this exact spot on a Tuesday evening. It was packed, it was dark, and there was a group sitting right here making dozens and dozens of petrol bombs. It could not be further from that scene now. As you can see, quiet, very calm, pretty much empty. The focus now is on tidying up. Most of the protesters have gone. They're getting the supplies that are left, putting them in the trucks that they've commandeered, trying to return this place to what it was before they had that confrontation with the police. So let me just remind you, it was a bridge over there where the police and the protesters came face to face. What's probably been some of the most aggressive and threatening confrontations in these 5-month-old series of demonstrations. But both sides stood back, and now it looks like it's pretty much over here.
Some people are thinking of retreating because there's not enough manpower. I think primarily there's not enough manpower, and there's a difference in strategies. Different people have different ideas, and there's no leader in this movement. So if there's not enough people still, then it's very dangerous for us to stay here. So maybe we'll leave this place.
It looks like it's over here. And it looks like it's over because, frankly, the protesters are tired, they've run out of supplies, there are issues with hygiene as well. There isn't a sense the police are coming, but it looks like 5 days in, the kind of confrontation we had here, and it looked very aggressive, very dramatic, is now done.